property mafia try to take away the site of a Global Mission Pioneers church plant, Adventist Cycle for Health in Puerto Rico, and a school for native peoples in Alberta, Canada, coming up next. Hello and welcome to Mission 360, coming to you today from Cambodia, in fact the capital city Phnom Penh. Now when tourists come to a place like Cambodia, they prepare themselves for many types of bugs because of course we're in the tropics. And sometimes we see these things as to avoid, but in different cultures they're actually part of the food that they eat. So right here you will see some deep fried frogs. Tiny frogs but put on a stick, and I'm imagining, I can't give you a first person testimony, but they'd be quite crunchy. And of course here we have a variety of insects. These are actually crickets that are being deep fried as well, and the chilies have been mixed up in it as well to make it quite a memorable experience, I'm sure. As we visit different cultures, we see that people do things in different ways, and in our mission we need to be understanding cross-culturally that we just don't export the way that we do things just because we think it's the best way to do it. We need to take the principles of God's Word that cross all cultures, the love of Jesus. And on today's program we'll be talking about mission, cross-cultural mission. And first up, let's travel to India and visit a Global Mission Pioneer.
In New Delhi, India, an angry group ordered the Seventh-day Adventist missionaries to leave their neighborhood. The missionaries wanted to establish the first Adventist church here, but there was a dispute over rights to the plot of land. It wasn't that they disliked the Adventist. Hoping to resolve the conflict, church leadership sent a global mission pioneer named Suleiman to this unentered area. Pioneer Suleiman was in for a challenge. There are millions of people in New Delhi who don't know Jesus yet, and in this crowded city, every piece of land is valuable. He knew the group claiming ownership rights wouldn't give up the property without a fight. But as a global mission pioneer, Suleiman not only hoped to resolve the conflict, he also planned to share the love of Jesus and eventually start a new group of believers. When Suleiman arrived, he and his family received serious threats.
They told me your church won't save you. You better leave the property or we will get even with you.
So the pioneer asked God for wisdom on how best to deal with the escalating conflict. Then he spoke with the angry men who were threatening to beat him.
I am here to serve. If you chase me, where will I go? Your conflict is with my administration. Let me stay here. If the property is deeded to you, at least someone is taking care of the property while this matter gets resolved.
The men thought this was a reasonable proposition, so they allowed Pioneer Suleiman to stay. But he couldn't make any changes to the property. Faced with no choice, the pioneer agreed. Suleiman and his wife got to know the surrounding community. They visited neighbors and developed friendships that allowed them to share their faith. By God's grace, people opened up to the gospel and wanted to hear more about Jesus. One day they met Susma, the wife of a man who was raised Seventh-day Adventist. Susma and the pioneer's wife became good friends, cooking together and sharing life experiences. Susma increasingly admired the Adventist. She saw that they were humble people who lived a simple life. The pioneer's wife asked Susma if she would be interested to learn more about the Bible, and she agreed. So Suleiman and his wife began to teach Susma about God.
My husband was an Adventist, but I didn't know much about this church. I didn't even know anything before marrying into an Adventist family. But after the pioneer arrived, I came to know more about Jesus and the Adventist church. Please pray for my husband. He doesn't want to come to church even though he was an Adventist from childhood.
Today, because Suleiman mingled with the people showing Christ's love, this property is formally deeded to the Seventh-day Adventist Church in India. There are approximately 25 regular members who worship here every Sabbath. As this congregation grows, he continues to pray for wisdom. Please pray for Suleiman despite the challenges he faces. Pray, too, for frontline mission work in unentered areas, among major world religions, and in urban areas. Thank you for your support of global mission.
My guest is Pastor Penn, who is the district supervisor for the churches in the southern part of Phnom Penh here in Cambodia. Pastor, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah.
Now, you are in the southern district of Phnom Penh. Can you describe what the city is like?
Okay. I just moved from Kampong Thom district to the Phnom Penh and worked for Phnom Penh South for 2 years. Situation in Phnom Penh is very good, but very hard for us to win the people, mostly the rich people, because we have no time to go in, visit them, because the door is closed every day.
Yes.
So we very hard, but we thank God because sometimes we can find a way we can meet them in the market, meet them in the shop, supermarket, and ask them, say hello, and then we ask them how is believe and the health like that, and make them make a friend, and then we can ask them to join with our church.
Yes, so the first step is for you to make the contact and the friendships with people.
Yeah.
Now, Pastor, how did you become a Seventh-day Adventist?
On 1984, I flee from the Cambodia to the Thai border.
Yes.
I lived that around 10 years, but I became in the Christian when I went there. I have no friend, no relative there, so I start to go to ask the pastor in the Seventh-day Adventist, Mr. Samtisan, to lead in the church because I alone and know everything. So he give me to allow to live in the church. At that time I don't believe, but he still preached me about the Bible every day until several months, and he start baptizing me.
Okay.
In 1994.
Now, was that the first time that you had heard about Jesus?
When I was young, I was born in Phnom Penh. I was heard from the track. The people they share me about the Jesus, but I don't interest when I was young.
Right, exactly. So when you became a Christian, when you became an Adventist, how did that change your life?
The first time when I baptized, I still not believe in Jesus really.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but when the happened when the soldiers fighting each other, at that time the people ran away from me. I did not know the way how I ran it, but when I had one card and start to run, but the people is gone. So I start to pray to Jesus. I ask them, if you are the really God, is how power, help me, because I did not know the way I go to the Thai border. So at that time when I went to the cross near the hospital, I have heard the voice behind me. It says, stop, don't go. When I turn back, I don't see anything, only the voice. I said maybe my ear is not that had the problem. So I start go again, but maybe I have 2 or 3 steps, I heard the sound again. After that, I stop. I look around, but no people. But I say maybe I scare from the ceiling. I say that maybe I think that. But I start again. When I stop around 2 steps, I walk 2 steps, I heard sound again. I look around again, but I don't see anything. And this time I said, third time, I don't stop anymore. If any call, any say anything, avoid. But when I start walk, the ceiling is sail on in front of me about 100 meters, 2 or 3 ceiling. I start turn back, turn the right. And then I say maybe God is protecting me. God called me. Because it's not call me, I will die at that time. So when I then turn around, I did not know the way. Suddenly I have seen the one man coming. He said, "Why you late?" I said I just knew coming in the border, in the refugee camp, but I did not know the way going. So he said, "Okay, this way you can go this way." And then we have a one channel, small channel. I cannot cross the cart, the wheel, because I put something out there. So he pushed, help me. After that, a few minutes, when I turn back, this up here. So after that, I start to tell my pastor. He said, "It's God come to help you, call you. If you not call, you will die." At that time, I start to believe in God.
Wonderful. So when you were baptized, you hadn't made a proper commitment.
Yeah, yeah,
okay.
sure.
So now you are a pastor and you have several groups in the city.
Yeah.
What is your hope for the future here?
Because my willing, I hope I want to speak the good news to all the people, even the lost people and non-Christian, even the Hmong people. It's my willing, I hope to win them to Jesus Christ.
Wonderful. Pastor Penn, I want to thank you so much for sharing
You're
with
welcome.
us today.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And viewers at home, this is a very challenging area. This is right in the heart of the 1040 window. And Pastor Penn, many other pastors, church leaders, and lay people are involved in building friendships, making connections, but it is difficult work, and they appreciate your prayers for their mission and your continuing support through your mission offerings that help make mission go forward in places like Cambodia. We'll be right back after this break. Riding in a tuk-tuk is one of the best ways to experience the sights and the sounds and the smells of the city here in Phnom Penh, Cambodia. This is one of the most economical means of transport, and if you find yourself in Cambodia, you'll probably find yourself hitching a ride in a tuk-tuk several times a day. Well, unfortunately, we can't travel by tuk-tuk to our next destination, which is a native school in Alberta, Canada.
I'm Rick Kajura for Adventist Mission, and we're here in Canada, but I'm not going to tell you where just yet because I'm going to let our guests tell you that. I'm here with Gail Wilton, who is the principal here at a unique school. Where are we exactly, and what's the name of the school?
We are in central Alberta. We're halfway basically between Edmonton and Calgary. In the Ponoka County, just off the Musqueam Reserve. Okay. And the name of our school is Mamawe-Ataskatan Native School. Mamawe-Ataskatan in the Cree language means working together.
Working together, I like that. And I'm really glad I let you say all those words. But this school, okay, you said it's a native school. It's also Seventh-day Adventist run school.
It is.
What exactly does this school do here in this community?
Well, we are actually a mission school, and so we are just off reserve Like you said, we are funded, we are supported by the Seventh-day Adventist Church in Canada and our local conference here, the Alberta Conference. We are all First Nations, so all of our students come from the local reserves here. There are 4 reserves in this area that we service. We have the Sampson, Ermineskin, Louis Bull, and Montana bands, and so our children come from all of those areas. We bus them in every day, bus them home every afternoon. We are a mission school. We do not charge any tuition. We have a breakfast and a lunch program at no cost to the children or their families. The funding that we do get, though, it's not provincial funding, it's actually federal funding. That's where all the First Nations funding comes from, is the federal government. But here at our school, our goal to work with these children and introduce them, bring them to Christ, and help them get their education along the way so that they can be productive members of their society and become our future leaders of our country.
So how do you promote the school? How do you get students? Is it difficult to get students?
Well, we used to advertise in the neighboring communities, but that kind of got a little ahead of us. We can't keep up with the demand when we advertise. So primarily the students that we have are students that we've had for quite some time, or they're related to students who attend here, or word of mouth basically is how our school is growing. In the last 8 years, we've grown from 132 students. This year we're at 208. And we're full. We are full.
That's a good problem to have, but you
is.
are expanding because you do have a waiting list, right?
That's correct. We have a waiting list every year. We have students that want to come and join our school, but unfortunately we just don't have the space to do that. So right now we have 6 of our classrooms that are in portables, in external classrooms outside of the main building. We just don't have space for them. But we are in the midst of a building project, and that new school that is being built will be for our 7th to 12th graders, and the current building then will be used just for the kindergarten through to grade 6.
So what grades do you go up to now? Do you go up to 12?
We do. We're kindergarten all the way through to 12.
But they're in these small sort of outbuildings, external. I don't know if everybody around the world knows what portables are, but they are buildings that you just sort of set up that are usually supposed to be somewhat temporary.
They are. They're trailers that we've brought in that have a classroom and a bathroom, basically.
And then anytime they want to come into the main building, they have to run through the Alberta winter.
That's right. They have to come through rain, sleet, snow, fog, whatever it is that day.
For some people that don't know how cold it gets in an Alberta winter, how cold can it get?
Well, we close school when the wind chill hits minus 40.
Minus 40 Celsius.
Minus 40 Celsius.
Okay, that's pretty cold.
That is cold.
Okay, so then you've got a number of students and you've been here a number of years. Is there a story you can share about one student maybe that's really touched you?
Sure, and this is one that I've shared several times, but it is one that's very close to my heart. When I first started here 14 years ago, I was working with a classroom full of students who were much older than the grade level they should have been in. This one particular student in 6th grade, she just didn't want to have anything to do with a new teacher coming in. She ruled that class. I did not have too much management on that class. And so if I said something needed to be done, she went totally against me. And this happened day after day after day. But one of the things that I always did in my class was every morning when I had worship with them, I would start off with a little spiritual talk, and then I'd pray with my students. So I would always ask them, fold their hands, close their eyes, bow their head, and understand that a lot of them come from and we're living in some very difficult situations. So the whole closing your eyes and being vulnerable was a big situation. So it was very hard to get that. But I would pray anyway, even though that I wasn't necessarily getting them all on board. And every day I would ask them, is there anybody who would like to pray or like me to pray for them? But I never got a response. Well, we were several months into the year, and again in the morning I asked if there was anybody who would like to pray. And this young girl, who had previously been so much against everything I had to do, to the point that she actually picked up chairs and threw them in my direction. I am not going to follow. I am not going to be a part of what's happening here. One morning she said, "I'll pray." And I was shocked. I really did not expect this, especially to come from her, because she was a very strong leader in the classroom, but not necessarily a positive one. And So I said, okay, well, you can pray. And she did what I did every morning. And she said, I need everybody to fold your hands, bow your heads, and close your eyes. And everybody did. They all listened to her. They all did. And when she had everybody there, eyes closed, heads bowed, she put her head back up and she said, I don't know what to say. And I said, well, Jesus is your friend. Talk to him like you're talking to your best friend. She said, okay. And so she closed her eyes again, bowed her head. And I don't remember everything that she said in the prayer, but I do remember that there were a few chas in there. And in this area, cha means just kidding. And you say those kinds of things to your friends when you're just horsing around and whatever you say, cha. I remember in that prayer, she was talking to Jesus, that she said cha several times. And it's just like, wow. She was talking to a friend. And when she was done, she said amen. Everybody went back to what they were doing, like nothing out of the ordinary happened. And my heart is just pounding out of my chest, and I'm just wanting to tear up because this young girl who had been so hardened inside, she just found a new friend.
Wow, what a tremendous story. You guys really are making a difference here in this community. And for those of you who are watching, please remember to pray for the Mamawe Atascocita Native School here in Alberta, Canada. And thank you for all you do for Mission.
All the stories, all the episodes that you see of Mission 360 are stored at m360.tv. That's m360.tv. So if you want to catch up on a story you missed or an episode you missed, just go to m360.tv. Next up, we travel to Puerto Rico.
When we think about impacting lives for Jesus, we don't usually think of doing so while riding a bicycle. But in Puerto Rico, this is exactly what some creative Seventh-day Adventists are doing to share the gospel. A group of students, teachers, and pastors from Antillean Adventist University wanted to start a mission project. They decided to launch a cycling ministry to emphasize healthy living and good friendships. The group of cyclists meets monthly and pedals around the entire island.
We ride around the island of Puerto Rico, which is an island of about 100 miles by 35 miles. So we ride about 285 miles in 3 days. And this tells the public that, as an Adventist church, we're concerned about the health of the people who are here in Puerto Rico.
Although the health emphasis is a major component, it's not this ministry's only focus. Everyone in the community is welcome to join the group, allowing the Adventist cyclists to create bonds with people from different backgrounds. During the ride, they enjoy a special moment they call Oasis, a moment to rest, eat, rehydrate, and pray together.
And while we ride, we meet people who are in a divorce, people who are losing their job, or who are wanting to hear the hope of Jesus. It's a great opportunity to spend 3 days with people whom we don't know, but they become our family.
Herman is retired from the U.S. military. He served in various places around the world, but his experiences brought physical and emotional problems that he had difficulty resolving. His doctors recommended that he participate in regular physical activity. Even though he wasn't an Adventist, Herman joined the group of Adventist cyclists, and they welcomed him with great joy. After several months of cycling with them, Herman not only experienced significant improvement in his health, but he also had the opportunity to witness his new friends' sincere love. By their influence, he decided to be baptized into the local Adventist church.
For me, it was a support. I see their mission, and I'm proud to be part of this group, to give myself motivation, to understand that health is important. But there's also the spiritual part, which is even more important.
Jesus calls each of us to find unconventional ways to share his love. There are many ways to mingle with people, like riding a bicycle.
Maybe I'm not a minister, but I feel that with what I have in my hands, I can help other people know Jesus.
My plan is to be physically prepared to ride the bike and talk about Jesus for 3 days. Who is Jesus? A Jesus who wants to see us happy, a Jesus who wants us to be healthy, and a Jesus who likes to make friends with those who don't know him.
Please pray for the ministry of the Adventist cyclists in Puerto Rico and consider how you can share Jesus in unique ways where you are. Thank you for supporting Mission.
Well, that's about it for today's program, and I hope that you've been inspired and challenged by our 360-degree view of mission around the world. Church planters in India, people sharing their faith in Puerto Rico, the challenges of the 1040 window. We see so much happening around the world. Of course, huge challenges still remain, and I want to thank you so much for your continuing participation as a part of Adventist Mission, because we consider you to be part of our team. Because every time that you pray for missionaries, for global mission pioneers, for urban centers of influence, you are praying for mission and you're making a difference in the lives of people around the world. And every time that you give your mission offerings, every time that you donate to global mission, you are helping new church work around the world. And there are many, many people, many thousands of people who are coming to know Jesus Christ as their Savior. Well, for Adventist Mission, I'm Gary Krause, and I hope that you can join me next time right here on Mission 360.